What's up YouTube, welcome back to Whacked Out ECIG and welcome back to Vape School. Today we'll be talking about why vapor makes you cough. Now the first thing you will hear about if you ask most people why vapor is making you cough is due to a PG intolerance. Now we're going to talk about that, but first we're going to talk about the effects of breathing in chemicals into your lungs and how that affects the little hairs.
A very sensitive index of the toxicity of an inhaled substance is its effect on the activity of the cilia, which cover the epithelium of the respiratory tract from the nasopharynx to the bronchioles. These cilia, by their continuous beat, transport the thin overlying layer of mucus up from the lungs towards the pharynx, where the mucus is then swallowed or coughed up. This mucus layer traps inhaled particles and partially dissolves inhaled gases. Normally, the continuous movement of the mucus prevents toxic agents trapped in it from remaining for more than a short time in contact with the same portion of epithelium. The ciliary transport of mucus thus constitutes a most important defense mechanism against the harmful effects of the inhaled particles and gases. But if the toxicity of the inhaled substance or its concentration is great enough, the ciliary beat may be slowed up or even stopped. Mucus then accumulates, and despite the compensation afforded by the cough reflex, toxic substances in the mucus may remain in contact with the same portion of epithelium long enough to produce injury. Stagnant mucus is also an excellent substrate for the growth of inspired bacteria, which then may penetrate into the epithelium and cause infection.
So as you saw in that video, the more you smoke, the more of that mucus builds up on your respiratory tract, and it paralyzes the cilia, those little hairs in your lungs. And those hairs are there to filter out any toxicants or pollutants, and while it's doing that, it's making you cough. So the more you smoke, the more mucus will build up, the more paralyzed as paralyzed can get, those little hairs will get, and it will stop you needing to cough because it's not filtering out anything. All it's doing is building up more mucus and tar, everything on your respiratory tract. When you vape, vapor doesn't have as many toxicants in it, so it's just very fine particles of the vapor, and they're making their way through the mucus to those hairs and waking them back up. They're bringing them back to life. That makes them able to filter out that mucus, and obviously that's going to make you cough because there's a lot of stuff to filter out. How the vapor is waking back up those little hairs, I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that PG, one of the ingredients in e-liquid, hospitals use it as a sterilizer to clean the air. Now when you breathe that in, that could be cleaning the mucus and making its way through it to wake up those hairs again and make them work again. The next thing is a PG intolerance. Now, I can't speak on why your body will be intolerant to PG, but it seems that a lot of people do have an intolerance to PG, one of the ingredients in the e-liquid. And that intolerance makes you cough, it makes you wake up with a dry, scratchy throat all the time, and it's just not pleasant. So one of your solutions is to choose an e-liquid with a higher VG ratio. And VG produces more clouds. PG is more for flavor and throat hit, the sensation of the nicotine hitting the back of your throat, entering your lungs. So it's not as harsh when you use higher VG liquid. So in conclusion, if you're vaping and you're coughing, my suggestion is to try a liquid with a higher VG content. If you're still coughing after that, I recommend just keep vaping, keep working through it until your lungs are clean enough that you won't be coughing anymore. Thank you so much for attending Vape School. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Also head over to Whacked Out ECIG where there is a beginner corner and you can find out a lot of more information for beginners. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon.